Namaskar, Pranam, Salam Alaikum and Sat Shri Akal to everybody. Welcome to all my respected journalist friends. First, my apologies. I called you all for a very short notice, but this issue is such that this was required to be highlighted. This was required to be brought to your notice. I have been fighting for this issue from last 10 years. All of you are aware, when Nirbhaya happened in Delhi, that changed one government. When Nirbhaya happened, there was one government, and after Nirbhaya, that case took so much limelight and so much concern among our people that it changed the government, because that government could not provide safety and security to the women. After several representations and knocking the door of our judiciary, it may be High Court, Supreme Court, the ministers, we could frame few rules, few laws, so that our public transport services can be safe. And gentlemen, if I wanted to, if all of you must be knowing me, I'm Dr.Kamal Soi. I've been working in road safety and women empowerment, crime against women from last 15-20 years. Takes us in such a brazen manner which the Tamilnadu government is acting. They have crossed all boundaries of corruption, nepotism and non-governance. I will call not poor governance, non-governance. I was given to understand this particular case which I am going to take up with you is being talked in the assembly as well. The leader of opposition, Mr. Stalin of DMK, he has already raised this issue. But because this issue is very close to my mind, body and soul, I want to knock the fourth pillar of democracy, the media, to tell you what this government is doing. A notification amending the Central Motor Vehicle Rules 1989 by introducing Rule 125H and making it compulsory to fit vehicle location tracking devices and emergency buttons in the all public transport vehicles, may it be taxis, may it be buses, may it be private taxis, may it be stage carriers, may it be all transport vehicles. It is compulsory to fit vehicle location tracking devices and a panic button. Why it is required? First of all, let me tell you, this is required to understand, to know where the vehicle is, because this is a public service vehicle. Where the vehicle is going, what has happened to the vehicle, how the driver is driving. You can always gauge the driving ability of the driver as well, how the people are acting, and in case of any emergency, that panic button can be pressed and the help can be given through all the enforcement agencies, may it be police, may it be ambulance, may it be fire services, and all the services can be reached if any emergency is required. You must be knowing, I filed a writ petition in Tamilnadu High Court some 2.5 years back for installing this. Then this government didn't agree. Then we have been pressurizing from Ministry of Road Transport Highways to install these vehicle location tracking devices. Finally, when they started doing it, they so far has not issued any notification in this regard. This is brazen non-compliance to the Government of India orders. Forget about Government of India orders. You have to be concerned about the safety of your own citizens, your own women power, your own mothers, sisters, brothers and aged people and children traveling in the public transport buses. So what has happened now? I will read one by one what they have not done. Number one, they have not issued any notification with respect to the fitment of AIS 140 compliant vehicle location tracking devices in public service vehicles registered up to 31st December 2018 by Transport Department, Government of Tamil Nadu. They have not issued any public notice. I tell you how the corruption works. This government, you have to buy even a needle. In government departments, you issue a public notice that I want to buy a needle. But for fixing vehicle tracking devices, there is no notice being published. And what is happening? Any company who is approaching them with a certification from ARAI or CCAT, they are approving him. I sent them a representation some 6-7 days back. To that, the State Transport Commissioner called me up on my mobile phone and tells me, Mr. Jawahar is his name. He calls me up and tells me, Dr. Soi, we are doing this. Today, he wanted to please me. Today we have given authorization to one company from Chandigarh, some black box company. I said, what the hell? Why you are giving, are you distributing toffees to children? You are giving approvals to every Tom, Dick and Harry? Is this such a simple thing? They feel the vehicle location tracking devices is a simple thing. It is a system. You have not to put a dibba in the vehicles. You have to put a system. The vehicle tracking devices is one piece of the system, and the rest pieces are the central control room server. Then you have to integrate that with the Vahan software, and that message has to be integrated through all the agencies, which they are not doing it. Now they have not issued any public notice, but so far, till I prepared this press release, it was 8 companies. Now they have given approval to 11 companies, including one company which Mr. Jawahar was referring, which is from Chandigarh Black Box, some company is there. So they are not adopting an AIS 140 compliant backend applications for monitoring the vehicles. Now tell me, if a vehicle is fitted with the vehicle tracking devices or GPS or VTS, if there is no monitoring, what is the point? You are fixing a box and then there is no monitoring. Who will come to the rescue? So what they are doing is, first of all, once they are given to 11 companies, this itself shows a malified intention. It's some underhand dealings is being done to give approval to all these companies. Why not? They are checking their capability and ability to run this system. This is a system. This is not the device. And those companies, they are giving approval who are just trading to make lot of money. I don't know how much money they are making. I should not say that. But it appears prima facie that they are doing this for making money. They have grossly ignored the MORTH SO 5454 dated 25/11/2018. Once the State Transport Commissioner was talking to me on phone. He was telling me, Dr. Soi, no problem. We will have the system in place in next 3 months' time. I said, why don't you wait for 3 months' time? First have the system, then only you install these devices. But the devices are being installed. I'm given to, as per the data of the vehicle population, which all these devices can be fixed, is around 4.5 to 5 lakhs. And if one device, let us take a rough figure, costs 10,000 rupees. 500,000 into 10,000 rupees, it becomes 500 crores. So this is a huge business. So they want to, I do not know how much money, it is election year, so they want money, and that's why they are doing it. Friends, this is a huge scam being perpetrated by a government of Tamil Nadu and specifically the Transport Department. Now, until and unless I say with all my conviction, without having a central control system, there is no point in either approving companies or in fitting the devices. Now, one more thing which this government is doing is, the new vehicles are coming fitted with these GPS tracking devices. Government of Tamil Nadu, laughingly, they are doing it. They are moving those devices and asking them to install new ones, which is approved by the Tamil Nadu government. They are not approving the company, the devices, they are approving the companies. Now, through you, we want that they should first immediately put a stop to issuance of approvals to all these companies, because this is a clear-cut case of corruption and violation of all the orders of Government of India and justice, because until unless you have the system in place, no safety and security can be ensured to the women, elderly, children, and even me and you also. Even me and you, if we find any difficulty happening in the public transport vehicles, we can immediately press a panic button so that the help can reach us. This is just criminal wastage of money, corruption, I will call it as. They should stop giving approvals. They should revoke all the approval orders issued, as this prima facie looks like a case of very, very high corruption. Number two, they should have a foolproof mechanism of implementation of Rule 125H with respect to fitment of AIS 140 compliant VLTD devices, and to have check and balances through AIS 140 certified backend system. If you do not have a backend system, I say you should not install these devices. If I cannot control a device, why should I spend that much money, 15,000, 20,000 rupees, if I cannot control it? I tell you, first company when I saw these devices was fitted 20 years back. If you have heard of Shell company, Shell has these devices fitted in all their fleet, even Indian Oil has now. So they are tracking those vehicles sitting in their command center, and they have huge command centers. Every vehicle is tracked. Where the vehicle is going, how much fuel it is consuming, what is the behavior of the driver, where it reached, where it stopped, where the fuel was filled, where the air was, pressure was checked. So that is ensuring the efficacy of the system. Here in this scenario, we have to ensure safety of our women, safety of the children, the girl children who are traveling in the buses, safety of the passengers, of the travelers, the tourist people who are traveling in those taxis, safety of the elderly and people like you and me also. Once we are traveling, maybe in the midnight, we have to be, we will feel safe if we have a panic button and if somebody is tracking us. Now, what is this private taxi people are doing, maybe Uber or anything, they have those trackings. So somebody is tracking them. Here, if the public service vehicles are not tracked, it is a mere corruption, and this corruption is in the excess of 500 to 1,000 crores. Thank you very much. Please raise this issue. These issues concern our own mothers, sisters, daughters, our own women people, our own elderly, our own children, and us as well. Please help me. I have come all the way from Delhi and Chandigarh to raise this issue in Tamil Nadu, because I filed a PIL in the High Court in Tamil Nadu, and today also somebody has filed, and there is a hearing also today. And I am sure if the government doesn't agree to this, we will approach CBI, we will approach High Court again, and we will approach the highest court in the country, Supreme Court of India, to stop this nonsense, to stop this corruption happening in the state of Tamil Nadu under the garb of helping the women folks. If any Nirbhaya happens in Tamil Nadu, you do not know what will happen. And these things are happening. Our women are quiet. We should raise this issue as much as possible so that we can have safety, security, and peace of mind in the public transport vehicles. Thank you very much. Like buses, like school buses, college buses, like your ambulances, like this state carriageways which carries goods, the state buses are also. Any vehicle which is in the public domain, which you and me can use, is the public service vehicle. Leaving aside private vehicles.
The rules is only with the national permit vehicles.
No, everything.
But it is your...
No, it is there. That is national carriageway, the one which has got permits. So every vehicle which is public service vehicle has to get a permit.
That is local permit, not national permit.
Every vehicle, because I have framed the rule, I've been in the Prime Ministry. So this rule basically says every public transport vehicle has to have a vehicle tracking devices. national or not national. You understand? And I tell you, every private vehicle, every public service vehicle, they have to get a permit from the transport department. Whether it is a taxi, whether if you are running a private taxi, that is separate. That is the nexus. That is the mafia which is happening. You have a private taxis and you are not taking permit and you are doing corrupt practices with the transport department. They do some underhand dealings and they allow you to run. That is separate. But every public service vehicle has to get permit from the transport department unless it is exempted, like few ambulances and fire services, they are exempted from the this thing. Otherwise every vehicle has to.
But you are talking about only Tamil Nadu. What about other states? This service
All other states, they have started implementing it. Delhi was the first state to implement, although I was to raise my issue again there as well. Again in the press club, Delhi press club, I raised this issue and Delhi has now doing it. Delhi is doing it with this thing. All other states are doing it. But Tamil Nadu is doing it, they started doing it, but with corruption. They do not have the system. Like now you have installed cameras in your house, but you do not have number one, screen to see what is happening. Number two, somebody looking at the cameras that what is happening around. That is just hitting in just putting the device which is costing 15 to 20,000 rupees in the vehicle without any purpose. Until unless you have a control center. Now the control center, what it does, you have 112 here in Tamil Nadu working through Home Department. As and when suppose panic button is pressed, immediately the message will go to the police, message will go to the ambulance, message will go to the emergency services, and whatever services are required, it will be rushed. You getting me? To the nearest police station. Suppose somebody is going, there is a police station near press club. So you are pressing the panic button near press club. So these people, they have to rush to you so that you get the help immediately. If anybody is cheating you, suppose in a private taxi or auto rickshaw, somebody is cheating you, you press the panic button. Suppose these people are mafias. So they immediately you get help and you are rescued. Should be more than 5,000. Although I'm not a chartered accountant to tell you 500 to 1,000 crores. It should be even more than it can be even more than that. If they start installing in you have around 400,000 to 500,000 vehicles, the public service vehicles where this has to be installed. Even if I was counting, even if we take a rough cost of 10,000 rupees per device, so 10,000 into 5 lakhs, so it becomes 5,000 crores. 5,000. I was not calculating properly. It should be 5,000 crores if it is installed in all the vehicles. Yeah. So it is a corruption. This is a periodic corruption. This is not one-time corruption, but this corruption will carry on for maybe 5,000 crore in 1 year. Maybe this government is now election mode, so they want to make those kind of money from there and. Put in the election. I do not know. I should not make those statements, but I am interested in you put a system in place, then only you do it. You are approving the companies through backdoor channels. Why?